Hi, it's Karina, and today I wanted to talk to you about the first thing that we need to do if we really want to love ourselves. And I think this is an important thing to talk about because many of us miss this piece. We all long to have a sense of inherent ease and peace and joy, vitality and purpose. All of us have hearts that are longing to awaken these qualities that are always within us, but that often, like seeds, are just untended to. We're not watering them, so they don't sprout, they don't grow. So how do we begin to water the seeds of self-love within us? And to begin to water these seeds of self-love within us, we need to start with real, radical acceptance. What do I mean by radical acceptance? Well, first I want to just honor Tara Brach, who coined the term. At least that's the first place I heard of it, in her book Radical Acceptance, which is a book, if you're a client of mine, I've recommended it to you, and I recommend it to all of my students. And I highly recommend that you read it if you haven't. And that's a little side note to this. But radical acceptance means really clearly seeing all the parts of us, and then loving what we see. This is about really owning the disowned parts of who we are. I'm talking about our anger, our selfishness, our greed, our irritation, our anxiety, all that stuff. All the stuff we usually want to run from. Running from them doesn't work. And so that, if we're angry, rather than just feeling our anger and being with our anger and tending to it with kindness and care, we either, one, deny it, which would be I push it down. I might eat something, I might check into the internet, I might do some distracting behavior to help me just deal with the intensity of the emotion itself. Or I might just explode. I might yell, I might blame, I might criticize and judge. Or sometimes we implode, right? Depression is often anger turned inward. So, and I'm just talking about anger here as an example of the way that many of us relate to these not so brilliant, not so pleasing, not so beautiful parts of ourselves. And so the question becomes, what do we do? How on earth do we accept these sort of disowned parts of ourselves? So how do we work with these parts of ourselves? How do we grow? How do we learn to accept them? Well, first off, we have to just get really clear about how we're feeling, without judgment, without criticism, without reacting. So we have to get clear about what our moment-to-moment experience is. We have to really get to know ourselves. And there's no better practice for this than mindfulness meditation. You can check out my YouTube channel. I have lots of meditations, mindfulness-based meditations, to help you with this. And in mindfulness, what we do is we just notice our arising experience. We feel it in the body, but we don't react out of it. We don't do any action to make it go away, any action really is to make it go away. Instead, mindfulness calls us to be really courageous and steadfast and steady. Often the most uncomfortable states of being are the ones that need integration. The most uncomfortable states of being are the ones that are really wanting to come home. And so the practice really is twofold. One, being aware of our arising experience. And as I said earlier, mindfulness meditation can be really helpful with this. And I suggest if you don't have one, that you start a mindfulness meditation practice. And number two is loving kindness, so compassion. Being willing to witness and notice a rising state. And so we can practice now. Why don't you make yourself comfortable? Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose. And sigh out your mouth. Good. Let yourself really arrive here. Feel yourself present. deepening this presence by beginning to feel the natural rise and fall of your breath. And then really letting yourself be embodied. So be wholly in your body, feel your body from the inside out. And bring a hand to your heart and draw awareness to your heart center. Just this place around the actual organ of the heart, this energetic center of our being. Feel it from the inside out. And then notice, how is it? What are you feeling here? Are you feeling challenged? Or are you feeling a sense of ease? Is there an emotion present? Are there a few emotions present? Maybe you're not able to notice that, but maybe you can sense if there's tightness or contraction, or maybe there's openness and space. Just noticing the sensations and the feelings first. Now, if there's anything challenging about your experience, there's something inside that feels contracted or tight, or maybe there's an upsetting emotion present. Allow it to be here. Give it lots of space. And right to that part of you that feels challenged, you might say these two words. This too. This too. This too I allow into my awareness. This too deserves my kindness and my care. And then just notice. Notice what happens to your body and your mind and your heart as you offer kindness and care to the parts of you that are challenging. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. You see, when we can really own these aspects of our being, we can really see them. And when we can really see them, when we have sight, we can notice them arising, and we're not judging ourselves for having them because we're just human. Then sometimes they just dissolve. And sometimes they don't. Sometimes it gets even stronger. But at any point, we've created some space so that state can naturally arise and pass away, as it will. It's something you can count on. You can be certain about impermanence. It will go just as easily as it came. You're more likely to respond skillfully and from a place of being really aligned with your integrity. And this feeds our self-love. We feel better about ourselves when we act in our own integrity and in alignment with who we really are. See, this part of us is stronger than the arising phenomenon when we're identified with the space behind what's coming and going. So I hope that makes sense. And I hope you practice at home. I suggest meditating every day, 5 minutes. Start with 5 minutes and you can build from there. If you want to work more, if you want to deepen your meditation, maybe you want to create a meditation habit. Maybe you want to learn how tools from yoga like yin yoga and breath work can be integrated into your life to help you bloom and unfold and tap into and connect with your inherent wholeness. Maybe you'd like a group of people who are on that same journey with you, who you can share and communicate with and bond with and feel a sense of belonging. Maybe you'd like to see how creativity can come into the mix. Maybe you'd like a little bit more one-on-one support from somebody who's walked this path and has reaped the fruits of this path and seen those fruits realized in her life. I'm talking about my new program called Reclaim Your Peace. If you'd like more information on this program, I'll leave a link. You can leave your email address and I'll be sure to get you more information as it becomes available. That's it for now. Sending so much love and many blessings. Namaste.